Welcome to Mastering Innovation Together with Alan Kent and Chris Koomey from Thorben Consulting. And we're talking about artificial intelligence, or AI, and we're talking about some of the applications out there. And you had shown me that there is now from Open AI a tool that can actually do coding for you. So tell me about that tool and what you think of it and how you think you might use that in the future.
Yeah, so actually, let's go with a little bit of a backstory on that. OpenAI is one of their earlier models was GPT-3, which is a generative pre-trained transformer, is what GPT is. Essentially, it's a pre-trained model that can take input and transform it and provide a different output based on the input. That model was trained just using a goal of achieving natural language processing and being able to understand the nuances of human speech and beyond the literal words on screen to what the meaning behind those words are and the interlinking between them. When that model got released and people started playing with it, they realized part of the training set is programming languages. So you could actually tell it to write a Python code, and it would imitate a Python code. At that point, the goal of that model wasn't to write code, and so it was not trained for accuracy in that code. So it would generate code, but good luck, it might not work. So they were watching the community using this model that they released, and they realized that one of the most interesting applications where people were playing with it was programming and getting it to write imitation code and all of that. So they actually said, hey, well, we didn't train specifically for that, but if we actually spent some cycles and tried to gear it towards that and improve the accuracy, they went from having pretty much no accuracy on it to a fair degree of accuracy in it being able to write code that could run. So that was the release of their CODEX model. And that was geared specifically towards writing code. The model that we actually looked at over the break was their Chat GPT, which is just their GPT model, but now in a chat session, in a session where you can have interaction back and forth between you and the model so that you can tailor and tune the output. It remembers previous state for as long as that chat window lives. And this is a evolution of their GPT model that understands code, understands syntax, and can even learn when presented new code to it.
So basically, with this chatbot, instead of it being a customer service, this is a programming chatbot that allows people to try to draft different codes, right?
Yeah. The Chat GPT is not purely code focused, but to me, that's one of the most interesting use cases for it. I've taken little utilities that I've had to write in the past and asked the chatbot to, hey, write this for me. And it is surprisingly accurate on it. There is the cautionary tale of it is very much always assertive that it's correct. So it can be very confidently wrong. So it's not to the point yet where you would want it just running code in production for you. But it can, where I see it is kind of a utility much like Google is to us, where you look on Google for answers, you have to click through a couple of links, read forum posts, figure out, okay, yeah, here's the syntax for working with that module that you haven't worked for, or some unit logic that you need, that you end up going to Stack Overflow to find that there's a 10-year-old debate on it, and they've optimized it down to the most efficient version of that unit logic. Well, now you can kind of shortcut all that by asking the Chat GPT, hey, I need a utility that performs this. And I would say probably like 90% of the time, if it's a basic enough utility, it's going to get right on the first shot. Otherwise, it might get you to a 80-90% solution. What I've seen is a utility that might take me 30 minutes to write. It can get me to that 90% solution instantly, and then just spend about 5 minutes testing it, maybe adding some additional logic to it, tailoring it for the environment. And then I've taken a 30-minute task and condensed that down to a 5-minute task.
Yeah, so it takes some of the mundane pieces, and then this way you can really focus on the higher value parts of it.
Yeah, because coding, there's kind of two components to coding and software development. There's the high level, taking a complex problem, breaking it down into a series of requirements, breaking it down into small pieces of logic that can be built to accomplish the task. And then there's the more mundane process of translating those bits of logic into actual running code. That's not to discredit the entire second half of it. There's lots of optimization. I know tons of people that have thrill on taking that logic and condensing it down into the most efficient version of the code possible. We've gotten a little bit away from that with the high-level programming languages that exist today, but those are kind of the two sides of the coin on that.
That's great how we're seeing AI giving new opportunities for people as they're learning how to really embrace the innovation opportunity. Thank you for mastering innovation together today with Thorben Consulting. This is Chris Koomey. We'd love to hear from you. If you enjoy the show, if you have any comments, questions, or just want to learn more about what we do. Thanks for joining us.